Hi, this is Matt at State of Flex here with another Everyone's a Critic 52-week movie challenge. We are on week 27, a film with a strong female lead. I'm running behind here, folks, so you're going to see several of these, hopefully, reviews come up over the next 2 to 3 weeks, as I'm about 4 weeks behind. My film with a strong female lead is the film Bulbbul, a film from India, in what Netflix tells me is the Hindi language, which I believe would make it a Bollywood film. I have been wrong and misled by Netflix in the past. I reviewed R and mistakenly said that was a Hindi film when it is not, as a Telugu film. So, let me know if I'm wrong about that in the comments. Year released 2020, aspect ratio 2001. Runtime 1 hour and 34 minutes. Genre is sort of an undefinable genre, but I would say supernatural drama. Rated R-ish. It's technically unrated, but it'd definitely get an R rating. Starring, I apologize if I mispronounce these, Tripti Dimri, who's excellent in the film. Avinash Tiwari, Rahul Bose, Paoli Dam, and Ruchi Mahajan. Directed by Anvita Dutt, produced by Clean Slate Films. We get it via Netflix here. Written also by Anvita Dutt. Music by Amit Trivedi. The score in this film is stunning. It is such a good score. Awards received, many. Too many to write down, so I'm going to whip out wee little phone here, which I believe I have it pulled up. The awards this film received, under the Critics' Choice Awards for India, it won Best Cinematography. For the Filmfare OTT Awards, it received Best Actress. Best Supporting Actor, Rahul Bose. Best Actress was the Tripti woman. And for online awards, it won Best Cinematography. The IWM Digital Awards, Best Supporting Actress, Paoli Dam, as well as Best Supporting Actor in a Digital Film, Parambrata Chattopadhyay. Yay. I might have I promise you I mispronounced that, I apologize. But moving on, why did you choose this particular film? Well, when I think of a film with a strong female character, when I think of strong female characters, I really think of three. I'm a fan of the horror genre. I typically think of, for me, who I would consider the big three: Sidney Prescott of the Scream franchise, Nancy Thompson from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and Ellen Ripley for the Alien franchise. And I almost did do Aliens because I already reviewed Alien a time prior, but after I did my review for R and subsequently the Bahubali films, a lot of people were recommending that I watch a whole slew of other Indian films. And this one is one that kept coming up when I said that I liked supernatural horror. And since I had a supernatural lean into picking one of those three characters, all of whom their movies I've seen plenty of times, why not pick this one I knew nothing about? And that is Bulbbul. Had I seen this before? No. Would I recommend this film? Why or why not? Yes, a big resounding yes. This is a fantastic film. It's a very moody, atmospheric, supernatural thriller. So if you like horror but don't like scary jump scares or anything like that, but more like the sort of immersion in a tone, this is the type of movie for you. It is stunning. The cinematography, which won awards, is so gorgeous. This is literally one of the best looking horror films that I have seen. Its use of color, particularly the reds, the oranges, the blues, the mood shadows, are so strong. The music that accompanies that is great. The horror sort of themes that run throughout the film are really like kind of unsettling, but still melodic in music. It's not just tones like you get here. Oftentimes in the United States when we have horror movies, you get unsettling tones and stuff like that, but you know, no real melodic horror themes. This has those themes that can unsettle you, but you can still recognize and listen independently as music. And then there's like sort of a romance theme that's strung throughout the film between the Bulbbul character and the Satya character, and I really liked that. The performance that Tripti Dimri gives is just astonishingly good, and I'm surprised she didn't get more awards, in all honesty. She is that good. The film is about we keep getting told it's a witch. I see it more as a vampire. Digging a little bit into like Indian folklore, I wrote it down. It would be the creature is a churel, which is a supernatural creature that preys on unsuspecting folk, in this film exclusively men, that comes about after like, according to mythology, is somebody who dies in childbirth, but it's not so much childbirth, but she is taken advantage of in her womanly state, which brings about this from to rise within her. I compare it very strongly to a vampire film. Like, if I were going to curate a series of vampire films to watch, I'd probably include this one. Vampires in their nature have a strong connection to sexuality and stuff like that. You typically see that with Dracula in their simple allure, but I think there's something darker and more sinister at play. The vampire myth, which I consider this very much a part to, or at least adjacent to, is the result of the unwanted penetration by somebody else. In the case of the vampire, it's with the fangs. In this, it's a very literalized form of abuse. But when the monster rises out of her, she typically goes for the neck. Blood sprays. The body's left drained of that blood. There is a lot of connection with the two. And I really thought that stuff worked wonderfully. The movie moves at a brisk pace. Like, that 90 minutes swings right past. It's very good. My only kind of like complaint is that there is a rape scene that could be like very triggering to a lot of viewers. It's photographed well enough, but the intimacy with which it is shot is so brutal, as it often is focusing on the victim during that, and that's something that I've never really liked. It's not shot sexy in any way, so I give it props for that. A lot of times you get the Game of Thrones effect, or I Spit on Your Grave or something, where they're trying to titillate, and this is not a film that does that. However, it is still like a crass scene, and I think you could have gotten away with more implications of the molestation rather than the full-out showing it to us so brutally. Moving on, yes, I do recommend this film. It is very good, very atmospheric. Excellent performances, cinematography, and score help to elevate that. And it's just kind of a cool monster. It's this witch who comes at you with her legs twisted backwards. And there's a lot of motifs with feet throughout the film. When you're first introduced to the Bulbbul character, it is through her dangling feet. Always the correct way, until suddenly they're not. Which character were you able to most identify or connect with and in which way? I would say it would have been the Bulbbul character. The movie is fed very much through either her eyes or Satya's eyes, both of whom I quite liked. I leaned towards her a little bit more because you're thrust into her experience. She does seem to be a headstrong little girl right from the beginning and grows into a headstrong woman who is placed under the confines of her society that she grew up with. This film is set in the 1850s and then the 1870s. Best line or most memorable quote? I don't have anything like that, but I have a nitpicky quote. There's a section of the movie where Bulbbul is talking with another character about Sherlock Holmes, and Sherlock Holmes didn't get created until the end of the 1800s. So when they're like looking back longingly at reading Sherlock Holmes, I'm like, it's 1870. Sherlock Holmes didn't exist. So that one was memorable to me because I was like, hey, that's not right. And that could be entirely a translation thing. Maybe they were talking about a book or piece of literature or folklore from their own story, and then, or from their own like perspective or world, and we're just told it's Sherlock Holmes because United States and people are terrible at translating things. Were you surprised by the ending, and what would you do differently? I was not surprised by the ending. It kind of has a traditional horror movie ending. A lot of these movies, ever since Frankenstein, end with a great big fire, kill the monster with fire, hence the kill it with fire meme. So I guess I'm not surprised by that. I liked her character. I wanted her to find a way to succeed beyond the monster that she became. That's not really what this genre kind of allows for, so I'm not surprised. But I would have liked to have tried to find some form of redemptive thing. I don't like the idea, especially when it comes to rape storytelling, that a rape traumatizes so much that they become a monster themselves, rather than find a way to be a survivor and embody the idea of what a survivor is and can be, and empowering to others. What attributes does the main character bring to her role? She is very feminine. She is never not a very feminine figure. However, she commands the screen and the people around her throughout the entirety of the film, even when she is placed in areas where she is under or subservient to another character. You never get the idea that she is not the most powerful intellect in the room or the most powerful presence in the room, and that's something that I really appreciated. They don't, oftentimes you'll see, even with characters like Ellen Ripley, if they're going to quote-unquote toughen up a character, they toughen him up by giving him masculine qualities and never really allow them to be feminine. And I think Ripley and Sarah Connor are characters that are kind of like that in the genre films. You see that far less so in traditional dramas, like any number I could name. But when you're moving into genre fare, that's something that is typically given. However, her femininity is never in question. However, the film does pivot into the horror genre and then uses her femininity as a plot device to maybe attack the male figures around her, which is its own set of problems. Do those features help the audience to connect with both her and her story? If so, how? I think I kind of answered that question alongside. Yeah, I think that helps you be grounded within that character, her perspective, and really want to root for her. But when she turns into the demon witch woman, it becomes a little problematic and whatnot, for the reason that I stated before. If I don't like the idea of this rape kind of allegory being placed on this person and then never allowing the survivor angle to take hold, but only the vengeful victimizer that comes out of it. And that's not exclusive to this story. That's something that you see in most forms of media whenever you have sort of a rape allegory at play. Anything else I'd like to add? Check it out. It's a very good movie. I highly recommend watching it. I know that I spoiled some of it here for you. By nature of this very process, spoilers come about. But I think this is one you can enjoy over any spoilers that may have laid because of the performance of the lead actress and the score and the cinematography. You will be enveloped in this film's quality. And highly recommend checking it out. If you can think of any other movies that are somewhat similar to this, also let me know. I liked the vibe of this film, so I plan to check it out. The next challenge I'm going to do is a film set during the decade you were born. A film set in the 80s. Cool. I'll see what I can do, eh? Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Peace.